Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, what would happen if your mobile phone killed you?
We are tonight's entertainment.
I would rather watch Beautician and the Beast.
People don't forget.
And here we go.
Made for movies.
Hey, what's up out there, all of our beautiful fans? This is the Made for Movies podcast. I am your host, Aaron Wolf. With me, as always, Eric Russo. How's it going, man?
Fantastic week. We are on episode 2 of the week. So today will be our top 5 news stories, as well as the always fun and infamous Wolf's Why Is This Happening? News stories of the week.
Love it.
And just keep in mind, too, this Thursday, we will also have our standard Thursday episode with our review of Mortal Kombat. And we're going to actually recap the Oscars, go through all the winners, who they got right, who they got wrong. But, Wolf, are you ready to get this party started with the very fun top news stories of the week?
Let's dive right in.
Top 5 stories of the week. Let's start with number 5. It is pretty much a Wolf's Why Is This Happening honorary mention. American Psycho is going to be turned into a TV series over at Lionsgate. Not too much other details have been given yet. No casting has happened, but it will be coming. It will be an adaptation of the book, not the movie, so it should be very interesting nonetheless. But, Wolf, what are your thoughts on this?
I didn't know I would ever see any of this again, American Psycho. It's not something unless it's Christian Bale coming back, I really am not sure if I'll be too interested in it, but probably give it a watch if it's based on the book. The book's critically acclaimed, so pretty cool. But it's still like one of those things where are they getting these ideas? Why are they recycling everything? Why don't they try to come up with something a little bit new? I don't know.
Yeah, the book is a fantastic book, and I wouldn't even mind them just adapting it as a movie at some point, like 20 years from now. I still think that the movie is perfect the way it is. We don't need this TV show. It's definitely a cash grab from Lionsgate. In fact, in this article, they're also talking about doing a Saw TV series, which is another terrible idea that I decided to not even put on our list. So Lionsgate definitely getting desperate, trying to milk their very few franchises that they have. I wouldn't call American Psycho a franchise. They've tried to turn it into one with the horrific American Psycho 2 starring Mila Kunis.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because she's perfect for that role, right?
I mean, it's an island, so, movies don't really come out here.
Patrick, what is it?
Where are you going?
I've got to return some videotapes.
Yeah, let's move on. Hopefully to never see this actually come out. But we'll move into your favorite news story of the week. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. A first official trailer has dropped ahead of its June 4th release. Wolf, are you excited to see The Conjuring 3?
No, just flat out no. I probably will never see it. I've heard that they're extremely scary and the kind of scary movie that I will not watch. So this can be a collaboration with any other horror movie podcasts that are out there if you guys want to talk about it. Haven't watched the trailer because I know that they're good movies as far as the horror genre goes, just from reading about it, but just not my cup of tea.
Well, that's fair. What would it take? How much would it take to get you to watch this movie?
I don't know. If that's a tough call. Probably a significant sum. I would say at least four figures. At least four figures.
Four figures.
Yeah.
Wow, too rich for my blood.
Because I would have to watch also the other ones to know what's going on. Probably.
No.
Maybe not?
No. So the great thing about these movies, which are critically acclaimed, loved by fans, is they are independent stories. So the Warrens, who it's based off of, you've probably heard their stories, like Amityville Horror is one of the Warren stories. So basically what they can do is they can just pick and pull, and each movie is its self-contained event. Yes, there's some slightly connective tissue, but this isn't like the Fast and the Furious saga, right? Like each movie is its own thing. This one actually has a really cool plot. It's based on a true story of the only person ever to use demonic possession to get off a murder. So it's going to have it's going to have an actual trial. And it should be good, if you were,
I mean, that's a good title if that's the plot. So
The Devil Made Me Do It.
They nailed the title.
Yeah, I really hope at some point in the movie he gets like, the devil made me do it.
And then the Family Guy joke is like, oh, he said it.
He said it. Yeah.
That's why I'll be Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. That's why it's called that.
Yeah, it's great. I will bust your balls forever to see this movie. It probably won't be as good as the first two because our boy James Wan is not returning to direct. The guy directing it is not a very good director. He directed the only movie in the Conjuring franchise that is bad, The Curse of the La Llorona. Terrible movie. I award you no points. So.
I wish you would have never mentioned it.
Yeah, there you go. But that's all I have to say. I think this will be, if nothing else, it's on HBO Max, so it is going to be free. It comes out June 4th. Moving into the number 3 story of the week. Maybe we should have put this one 4, because Captain America 4 is coming to a theater near you. Most likely will continue the story of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Chris Evans at this time is not going to be reprising his role, but they do say in all of the articles that we've read that Chris Evans is still tied to another Captain America project that's not related to this one.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Wolf, are you excited for Captain America to go back to the theaters, or would you rather see it stay on Disney+?
I honestly think with the momentum of the show that another season of that is, in one of my thoughts about the actual show Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which we'll get into, is that I thought it was more like a movie because it had one director throughout the entire thing. And it was a good story. It was just like a longer movie. So I'm glad they broke it down. But I think that format works well for this news story. But Marvel doesn't put out many bad movies. So it's not like I don't have expectations that this would be bad. So definitely we'll see it, and excited to see kind of where the story goes.
Yeah, so you're right. So the showrunner is actually going to be the same from the show, too, for this new movie. So probably going to be very similar, I would assume. I really don't know how to feel yet. We'll get into our review of the show later. I do have some minor issues with it that I think could be actually improved by putting it into a movie format. But the truth is, until we get more details on this, it's going to be tough to really determine which direction they're going in. Also, we very well could get another season before this movie too. So there's really no way to know what they're cooking up. But it sounds like they're just kind of reacting to the mostly positive response to the TV show to push forward and try to get some money from us now. So
yeah. No, that's a good point.
But moving into the top 2 news stories of the week, yes, Michael Keaton is returning officially to play Batman in the Flash movie, which just went into production, so this has been confirmed by him. Wolf, are you excited to see the return of Michael Keaton, and do you think this Flash movie, which is directed by the director of It Chapter 2, has any chance of being good?
So, first question, anytime Michael Keaton is in anything, I will have some genuine interest in it because he's brilliant. Just the way he is able to put together a performance in any role, whether he's playing a comedic role, serious, he's great. So definitely interested in that and seeing him as an older Batman. I'm curious as to if that ties into any kind of Batman Beyond type of stuff, which is an old cartoon for those who don't know. Came out late 90s, early 2000s, I would guess, and kind of continued the story from the original Batman animated series as well. So that would be awesome. Now, also, as part of like Justice League 2017, Flash was the best part. He's probably one of the worst parts in the Snyder Cut because it's just too much slow motion. But his dialogue, his story, relatively funny, and Ezra as an actor, pretty good, and could be funny. So, not expecting a great DC superhero movie ever, except for Dark Knight, etc. But if Michael Keaton's in it, it should certainly be a little bit more watchable and palatable. So.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Michael Keaton is definitely improved as an actor, I would say, and he's one of the more respected actors. It's really weird that he's going back to Batman after he made Birdman, which really just drives home the fact that he would never return to a role like this. In fact, he released comments not too long ago that we talked about on this podcast about how he said he was probably not coming back and he was concerned about COVID and production in the UK. and he just wanted to stay on his little farm ranch and stay away from people. So they must have thrown the, backed up the truck to his front door. But yeah, I think he'll be great in it. I'm very concerned about the movie, the pacing. It's they're adapting the story of Flashpoint, which could be good or it could be a total nightmare. To me, the ceiling for this movie feels like a 7, and the floor feels very, very low.
Negative.
But yeah, but like you said, if it gets him back, I would love to see him return for Batman Beyond or something, increase, but I have a feeling if this movie is not great, he will never do another one again. So we shall see. So that takes us to the number 1 news story of the week, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. First trailer drops for this Marvel MCU Phase 4 movie, expected to release September 3rd, 2021 of this year. Wolf, did you watch the trailer? And if so, do you think this movie has any potential to be good?
So, yes, I did watch the trailer. My thoughts on it, simply, it looks like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Not to say there's anything wrong with that, because like martial arts movies are awesome in that they provide at least good action almost every time. But I'm not familiar with this story whatsoever, which also kind of makes me a little bit excited for it too, because it's almost like a newer idea within the Marvel universe. So that I could definitely get behind. Whether it will be good, that's up to the wind. It's got Aquafina in it. I don't think there's a less likable person in the entire world than Aquafina. So that's just a little glimpse into that. But it looks like it could be decent, and I'm curious to know more about the story.
Yeah, I was impressed with the trailer. I don't really like watching trailers for Marvel movies because I'm usually I know I'm going to see them, and I don't want to have things spoiled. But I'm glad I watched this trailer. I thought the cinematography looks pretty different from a lot of other Marvel movies, and the fight choreography looks really cool. It looks like it's almost a mixture of CGI with, real world fighting. Mm-hmm. He looks a little cartoonish to me during those action scenes, like the way they're shot, but it does look very cool, and I think it will be very good. I have a great feeling about this. It looks super authentic. Looks completely different than anything else that they're putting out, which typically has led to some of their best movies. Yeah. Really looking forward to this one. Hopefully it lives up to the hype.
Yeah, I think it's a similar thing to Guardians of the Galaxy, because no one knows about Guardians of the Galaxy unless you're literally a comic book fan before those movies came out, and now they're one of the most popular of all of the characters within Marvel. So I hope that it goes that way as well.
Yeah, I feel like when they do these types of movies, sometimes they have to do this fan service, and it really can hurt the movies. But when you don't have this huge, crazy people online demanding certain things out of your movie, it just gives the director more creativity, more freedom to just tell the story he wants to tell. And that's what happened with Guardians, and I think that's what could happen here as well. But really looking forward to this one. Should we move on to the most fun part of Wolf's Day, the Wolf's Why Is This Happening? 3 news stories this week for you, man. They're piling up. But let's start with number 3. Wolf, How I Met Your Father, what's called a series sequel, has gone straight to order from Hulu, starring none other than Hilary Duff, with the original creators also coming back as well. No other actors from the original series have been announced, but Wolf, I have one question for you. Why is this happening?
It's incredible. I don't think I could hear the announcement on YouTube of this over the sound of my own eyes rolling, when it happened. I'm just let's stop. Let's just stop all this. I thought Hilary Duff, honestly, was dead. I didn't know she was still alive. 100% honestly. I think I confused her with Avril Lavigne in some respects. So that might be it. But is Avril Lavigne dead? I don't even know that either. So, How I Met Your Mother, I thought ended horribly. And for those who don't know, it turns out that that their mom died a while. It's get out of here. That's the dumbest thing in the world. But this is another one of those things I just don't think is necessary. They're just trying to throw out as much dreck out there as they can and see what it makes. Does it go straight to Netflix? Probably. It seems like that caliber of show. But yeah, why is this happening? Stop.
Yeah, a lot of thoughts on this. So one thing about this, How I Met Your Mother actually did create a spinoff called How I Met Your Father in 2014. Pilot was shot for CBS, and it was not picked up. So they've already tried once.
I wonder why.
Yeah, Hilary Duff, interesting. I'm really not against her or anything. I think that she'll be fine on a show like this. I don't think she'll be the reason that it's not good. But this is essentially, they're calling it a sequel, but it's a remake. It's going to be the same type of show with a girl lead. It could be good. You know, it may end up being like a entertaining show. I probably will not watch it. You know, I may give it an episode just to see how it is, but I'm really not looking forward to it. So it's coming from Hulu. It's going directly to Hulu. Okay. For those of you who do not know, How I Met Your Mother is currently streaming on Hulu, and it is one of their top streamed shows, which is probably why we're getting How I Met Your Father directly to Hulu. Yeah. And at the end of the day, based off what other terrible shows people watch, this will probably be a monster hit for them on Hulu. It's free. It's easy to click. I'm sure it'll do well, but I don't know why it's happening either. Let's move on.
Get out of here.
All right, moving on to the number 2 news story of the week. Comes to us from Netflix. Jamie Foxx, Dave Franco, and Snoop Dogg have officially joined on to the movie Day Shift, which is going to be a vampire thriller from Netflix. Wolf, why is this happening?
I didn't know the Dave Franco part right then and there. Get out of here. He's the worst. He's the anti-Poon, that guy.
Stop. Come on. You're ridiculous. He's the only reason I might watch that show.
Him and James are both bad. I don't know. I don't like him. I don't like him.
That's really weird. I've never heard anyone say they don't like Dave Franco.
He's just the worst, man. He is that kid from Superbad who they say people don't forget.
That was like 8 years ago, asshole.
I can't get over it. Anyway, this sounds like a dumpster fire of a production, and I will happily skip it every single time. Probably won't even watch a trailer. Doesn't need to exist. Why is this happening? Period.
Yeah, it will definitely
Netflix stinks.
It will definitely be terrible. As those of you who don't know, this will not be Snoop Dogg's first time potentially playing a vampire, as he played a vampire in the lead role of the movie Bones. I don't know if you...
Wait, I thought Bones was a TNT hit from...
Wait. You don't know about Bones? You have to go look this up.
Bones,
1999. Anyone out there, go look it up. Watch the trailer. Snoop Dogg is a vampire in the movie Bones. They describe it actually in this article as a cult classic horror movie.
Oh, okay.
I tend to disagree with them that this is nowhere near cult or classic, but I'm sure it has its fans out there. I don't mean to knock it too much. I'm sure it's a very funny movie. But let's move on. Do you have any other thoughts on this?
Nope, get it out of my life.
I already bought our tickets for opening day. Don't worry. But I really thought, so this one, that hit on Monday. I thought for sure that would be the number 1 movie story of the week, but it was to be outdone on Tuesday by none other than Vin Diesel, and Universal Studios have signed him on to produce and star in a Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie. Woof. Why is this happening?
I hope that his lines are literally just taking a script from a Fast and Furious movie and putting them in this, and nothing else changes. But I feel like they did this movie already several years ago called Real Steel with Hugh Jackman. Actually quite entertaining of a movie, and rewatchable to a T. This, again, just another thing. They're just recycling and throwing out as much horrible content as possible, because that's the world we live in, with 50 different streaming services and endless amounts of dollars spent on them. It's unbelievable to me. So I guess it'll be funny just to hear what Vin Diesel's one-liners are. That's about all I'm looking forward to hear about from this. But it just doesn't need to exist. Why is this happening? Doesn't need to. Fires me up.
Yeah. So Vin Diesel, I'm a big fan. I think he's hilarious. The Pacifier, fantastic movie.
Stop.
But Vin Diesel really has not had much success outside of the Fast franchise at the box office, critically. So I don't understand the concept of giving him another $200 million movie that no one's going to go see. He just did that Blood Rain movie that bombed. The XXX franchise does relatively well in other countries, but does not do well here. But that's like an ensemble movie similar to the Fast franchise. I don't think that this makes sense for anyone, including myself, to watch it. So I will hopefully not be watching it, but you never know. We do a movie podcast, and we always do need inductions into the Hall of Shame. So
That's true. I'm going to make this an early inductee right now. How about that?
Yeah, well, that wraps it up for the news week. That was a monster. 8 things announced this week. Very fun. Always positive with these stories. Looking forward to all 8 of these films, but let's move on. Every Monday, we are going to be reading some of the best comments that get sent into us. So, Wolf, do you have any comments that were sent into you?
Yes, I have a couple, actually. The first one comes from Josh Shepard. He was listening into our Top 10 Comedies episode and had a few thoughts of his own. One, he first of all thought that Super Troopers should have gotten some more love. I did remind him it was in my honorable mentions, and I do love that movie. But thinking back, I think it may have even creeped closer to like the number 11 spot because it is hilarious and super quotable and rewatchable. His main main movie within those comedies that we didn't talk about was Joe Dirt. So I'm not the biggest Joe Dirt fan. I've probably watched it twice overall my whole life, and that's not a lot as far as comedies go. I really do watch comedies multiple times just to really, when they're especially really good. But he quotes it a lot more often, and he hears a lot of his friends quote it a lot more often. So
I'll stab you in the face with a soldering iron.
Yeah, one of his was "That's a space peanut." I got the poo on me. He says that quite a bit too because he also has 2 beautiful kids. So shout out to Josh Shepard. Thanks for writing in, buddy.
Good stuff. Yeah, I got a couple as well. So these are related to our Leonardo DiCaprio career retrospective. We asked our audience, what were your favorite Leonardo DiCaprio movie roles and why? Got a couple write-ins here that were the best responses. Sam Lurchin writes in that his favorite role is going to be Django. He thought it was just very unexpected for him to play a character like that. Felt he should have won an Oscar for it, which I definitely agree. It's one of his best roles for sure. It was one of the 10 that we highlighted. He even has a pretty funny line about, his introductory scene and then the scene when he brings out old Ben's skull. He's like, he had my curiosity and then he had my attention. So pretty funny. Good stuff from definitely. Sam. Any more you got?
Yeah, I got one in that same episode from the very famous TV Ron.
TV Ron.
What up, TV Ron? His favorite Leo role was in The Departed. Not because just Leo is great, but it's one of the better movies on the list, as well as the fact that the rest of the cast is perfect. Like, obviously, Nicholson, Damon, Vera Farmiga, Mark Wahlberg. That movie really gives you just everything you'd ever want, especially with a lot of Boston accents thrown in. His accent is perfect, is one of his comments, and overall just a fascinating role. And he plays it off to a T. The kid who kind of goes from upper middle class during the week to down in the Southie projects during the day. Like, just very interesting overall. So shout out to TV Ron.
TV Ron, miss you. Yeah, my last one is going to come from our buddies over at the Movie Mania podcast. You can follow them at Movie Mania Pod as well. Look them up on they're on Apple Podcasts and a Spotify. Awesome podcast that they have. Funny enough, their favorite role is going to be that of Calvin Candy from Django Unchained for Leo. Again, they write in, never had seen him in a role like that. Truly showed his range and what he was capable of.
So yeah, that we appreciate everybody writing in. Continue to do so, guys. Again, it's madeformoviespodcast@gmail.com. Our website, madeformovies.com. Of course, check us out on our socials, Made for Movies Podcast on Instagram. And we will see you guys on Thursday with our official Made for Movies review of the latest release of Mortal Kombat. Looking forward to that one. And, of course, a quick Oscar recap, being that the Oscars were yesterday as you're listening to this. So look forward to that, guys, and hope you enjoyed the episode. See ya.
Bye.
Made for Movies.